Okay. So we're going to be talking on C# this morning, and it's going to be introduction mainly. And the whole idea, if we are going to recap again, is that we should be enthusiastic about a programming language. And to be enthusiastic about a programming language, it is important we might need to know a bit more about that programming language. And a programming language is like any other language. We all speak some languages. So most of us, we are speaking English now. There are rules that guide the use of English language. And knowing the rules that guide a language means you are able to speak that language effectively as a user. And it is the same thing with a programming language. And so we are going to be looking at C# as a programming language. Some people will ask the question, why C#? Why not Python? Why not JavaScript? Why not Java? Why not C? Why not C++? Why are we talking C#? Well, there are a number of reasons we pick C# to start with. We are going to still deal with other programming languages. But C# is a very performant programming language. It's also part of the .NET framework, which is portable. It's a good programming language, and I use it too. This is one of the reasons why we are starting with it, and we will be looking at that programming language. So, what is really a programming language, and what we get from a programming language? A programming language enables a programmer to instruct a computer to carry out its functions. And so when we say carry out functions, so what do we mean? We have all played games. We are using Zoom right now for recording. We all use Microsoft Word, a couple of other Office products to work. In order to get these tools to work the way they work, someone must look at the problem, break down this problem into a step-by-step manner, and then instruct a computer in how to do that thing in a step-by-step manner. That is what we call programming. And that is what we want to learn in this class. So the goal is that everyone starting during this class will be able to at least handle programming professionally. Some of us might go into it as a profession. You might take it as something that you want to do. And then, so we want this forum to, one, enable us to be free, two, enable us to be enthusiastic and get resources that we can use, and three, even when we're in the field and we need mentoring, which happens in the first 2 years of your professional life, this platform will make that available for you, so that if you have a problem, you have a place you can fall back to. I know Indians do this a lot. I mean, some of them will go to the toilet and make a call home to their mentors to ask them for a solution to a problem, and it does happen. We know that is that. I want this forum to be able to give that to many of us. So let's start with the C# programming. If you have any question, please ask me. I will also advise that we all mute let us mute our microphones. Please mute your microphones so that we don't have interruptions. And then when you want to ask questions, just put on your microphone and then ask your question. Okay, so we are going to, can you all hear me? Please just tell me back. Yeah, if you just put, if you hear me.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I'm happy that you hear me. And if you don't hear me, just text me back. There is a button down called chat. If you type something there, I will see it. Okay. Yeah, so we go back to C#. Before we go back to C# mainly, there are a number of things that I will be talking about today. The first thing is actually, when we say C#, what is it? C# is a general purpose programming language. It's a multi-platform programming language. It facilitates. So when we say general purpose, what do we mean actually? A general purpose programming language is a language that can be used for several things. We can use it for artificial intelligence programming. I remember it's Toby Online. I remember us doing a project in artificial intelligence, optical vision, where we're able to enable the computer to be able to predict using camera or using video feed to predict behavior of animals. We use C# program for that. That's artificial intelligence. For mathematical computation, we use C# as well. So it's a general purpose programming language, which means no matter your problem domain, you can rely on C# to solve that problem for you. So it's a general purpose programming language. It encompasses a lot of things. One of it is strong typing. So some of these are keywords. I will share some document with you ultimately. So some of it are keywords that you will learn. So one of it is strong typing. Strong typing means that a programming language will deal with type, which means you will start hearing things like, I'm hearing a child. Please mute your, I'm hearing a child, I'm hearing a child. Okay, yeah, thank you. So when we say it's a strong type programming language, means that you have to declare the type. There are some programming languages where you don't have to declare the type. You just, like Python, for instance, you don't have to declare the type. It's just by putting information there, Python will determine which language it is. But in C#, you have to indicate the type. So it's a strongly typed programming language, and of course, is supported by the .NET framework, and so it's part of the common language runtime, common language specification. So some of this might look somehow to you right now, but as we go in course of the course, you understand it. So C# is, as a programming language, is a beautiful programming language. It's really beautiful in the sense that it's simple to learn, it's simple to use. Once you know the rules, which we are going to be talking about very, very soon. It's also related to some very good programming languages. It's related to C. It's related to C++. It's related to Java. Share some things with this. Some of the things that it share, we are going to be looking at them. So it supports several software development principles, including things like type checking, array banding, garbage collection. Some of those things look somehow to you now, but we are going to go over them, and then you are going to understand them a bit more. Okay, actually, yeah. So like every language, including human languages, we have something called semantic, and we have something called syntax. Every language, semantic is actually the way you use a language, and syntax has to do with the rules of the language. So C# has some rules that we are going to be looking at, and I'm going to be talking about some of them. The first rule of C# is that every statement in C# has to be terminated with semicolon. So you will see plenty of semicolons. Every statement. So the word statement, if you are taking note, just write statement and write the semicolon at the back of it. Just write statement and put semicolon at the back of it. That's the first rule of C# programming language. Every statement, I will tell you what a statement is. A statement is essentially an expression that is terminated. That's a statement. So a statement without semicolon is an expression. So what's an expression? An expression is a mathematical rule which include operator and operand. So right now on your note, you should have the word statement. You should have semicolon. Then you should have the word expression. And then the word expression is broken down into two other words, operator and operand. So you should have about 5 words now in your note. Statement, expression, operator, and operand, and then semicolon. Does anyone have any question at this point before I go on? So that's the first law of the C# programming language, is that every sentence or every statement must be terminated by a semicolon. So now I now try to explain to you what's a statement. A statement is an expression that is terminated with a semicolon. And what's an expression? An expression is operator plus operand. So we'll ask ourselves what's an operator and what's an operand. But let's first deal with statement and expression. And then the fact of termination. Does anyone have any question? Or you can just type it if you have any question with regard to what I have taught, which is the first law. The second law of the language is the law of curly braces. Curly brace is actually this. Can you see that? That's curly brace. We use curly brace to group statements together and form what is called a block. So, okay, sorry, I'm getting something from someone. Let me take a look at it and then I'll just come back and continue. Okay, I think I got something from someone. All right, so let's go on. So curly braces are used to group statements together to form a block. A collection of blocks is known, a collection of statements treated as one is known as a block. So a block is a collection of statements that is treated as one. So a statement is an expression that is terminated. A collection of statements is known as a block. A block is recognized by the presence of curly braces. So those curly braces will just mark a block out. There are different types of blocks. So we have what is called the method block. We are going to go through all of those things. We have what is called the class block, function block, and then namespace, class block and namespace blocks. These are all blocks or collection of statements. So usually a program is a collection of statements, or a collection of statements. But these statements are grouped in blocks. So you will see a C# program is made extensively of plenty of curly braces. But those curly braces are not just there; they are such that we use to organize our thought. So that's the third thing, the third rule. We are going to go through all of these things one by one practically. The third rule is the use of equal to and double equal to. So you have assignment. The first one is assignment statement. Assignment statement means how do you store a value in the computer memory? To store a value in the computer memory, you just use equal to. So you say A is equals to 5. That means computer, please create a memory space, call it A, and put 5, the value of 5 in that memory location. That's called assignment. For that in C#, we use equal to sign. But the second use of equal to is when you want to compare two values. So if I want to say, is X equals to Y, or is X equals to 8, or is Y equals to 5, I will not use a single equal to, I will use a double equal to. I'll say, is X equals to 5, something like that. That's the way. So we've looked at a statement. We've looked at a block of statements using curly braces. We've looked at the type of statements existing. We look at assignment statement using a single equal to sign, and comparison using a double equal to sign. Okay. Do we have any question? Has anyone any question now?
I've just joined.
Okay. that was one of the reasons we said we even waited for a few minutes for some of us to join. But anyway, we are going to. I think I'm recording this. I might be sharing it on the WhatsApp group eventually, possibly. Yes.
Yeah, please can you just clarify the last one about the double equal to sign? I think you said the equal to is for when you want to like
Yes.
give
Y
a, like the example that
equals
yeah, something like that.
8. This is assignment statement.
Okay.
So if you see double equal to line like this, so to make it a statement, I have to put a semicolon at the back of it like this. If I don't put a semicolon at the back of it, it's only an expression. So this is an expression without the equal to sign. But when I put the semicolon at the back of it like this, it becomes a C# statement.
Okay.
There's another statement thing you will learn, which is the comment. Comment means it is for human beings or human reader. I'm going to talk about your audience in a few minutes time. So the second one is equal to C. So if I say if A is equal to 5, with this one, what I'm doing now is comparison. I'm comparing the value in A with 5. That's what I'm doing. So there are two different things.
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you.
Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear for me.
Okay. So let's move on. The next one is actually square braces. So you will see square brace. When you see it, I'm going to explain it more again. When you see square braces, it actually means an array. An array. That's what square braces mean. So what's an array? An array is a collection of integers or string or a collection of objects that are treated as a group. So when you see that, you will know that you are dealing with array. We are going to really deal with it more effectively. Okay. So ultimately, now the next thing I want to talk to you about is the tool that you will need. As a developer, the most important tool that we use are text editors. And text editors are, your Notepad or your text or your Notepad++. These are text editors. They enable us to write ASCII text. ASCII texts are unembellished text. When you write things with Word, with Microsoft Word or Excel or any of these other applications, they take what you type and they do things to it. They add things to it. But as a developer, you don't need that. You want to write straightforward onto the memory of the computer without what you don't want there. So for that to happen, we essentially use a notepad or a text editor. So usually you use that. And the second tool that you need is the compiler. The compiler is actually a tool that converts source code. So if you write in your note source code, and you write your note object code, and you write in your code note executable code. These are 3 types of code that you have to deal with. The source code is actually text that human beings can read. So source code are read for human beings. Object code are used by computer, by the compiler. The compiler takes the source code and converts it into object code. And the executable code are code that are executed by human beings. So when you run a program, it's the executable code that is running. So those are the 3 types of code that you deal with. So to deal with source code, you use a text editor. To deal with to generate executable code, you use compilers. So the CSC is the compiler for C#, and that's what we use. And then but we also have what is called debuggers, because you have heard the word bug. Bug is actually an error in program or executable issues. And so as a programmer, you know that it is not possible to write your code and have it just run perfectly like that all the while. Once you have hundreds of lines of code following one another, and the last one must not contradict the first one. You have 1,000 or even 1,000,000 lines of code, and the last one of them must not contradict one another. You need to step through this program sometimes to deal with it. So for you to do that, you use a debugger. So we're talking about 3 tools that you need. The first one is your editor. The second one is your compiler, and the third one is your debugger. So, but to have all of these things together, we use you have an integrated development environment. An integrated development environment has all the tools that you need. And some of them have other tools like linting, coloring, auto-suggestion, and other things to help your work and make your work faster. So for this class, I expect you to go to Microsoft, visualstudio.com.microsoft.com, visualstudio.microsoft.com/vs/express. Go and get Visual Studio Express. Go and install Visual Studio Express before our next class, please. In our next class, it's not going to be theory like this. We just go straight, and then we are going to do the first class, which is Ground Zero. That's the next one. So for your next class, for our next meeting, I expect you to have got and installed Visual Studio Express. Okay. So for your work, what is the output of your work? The output of your work is a file. When you create a source code, the output is usually a source file. There are 2 types of files that will come from your work. The first type of work is called the exe file or executable file, and the third is the DLL or dynamic link file. The executable file is consumed by human beings, whereas the DLL file is used by other developers or other programmers. So if you develop tool for other programmers, you will generate a DLL file. If you are developing a tool for human beings to use, you generate an executable file. We will see all of those things as we go on. So, and the last thing I'll talk about this morning is who is your audience. As a programmer, you have 3 audience. So if I were to add this to your note, you say who are your audience? The first audience that you are writing for as a programmer is the compiler. So the compiler must, if your code is not correct, the compiler will not let you go. The compiler will keep complaining, will be crying until you correct the error. So your first audience as a developer is your compiler. Your second audience as a compiler is your user, and as a developer is your user. The people who are going to use the code that you build, so you have to satisfy them, which means you have to make your code in such a way that they can understand it and they can use it and it can solve their problem. And the third audience for a developer is the other developers or you yourself in the future who will maintain your code. So those are your 3 audiences: the compiler, your users, and the other developers who will maintain your code in the future. So to satisfy each of these people, there are things that you need to do as a developer. We'll walk through each of those things. So that is our lecture for today, and that's the introduction to C# programming language. Our next class, we are going to go hands-on. We are going to start coding. We are going to start running code, and to do that, I expect you to have installed Visual Studio Express. Go to Visual Studio Microsoft.com. Google Visual Studio. You download the community version and install it before we meet. Do we have any questions? Questions as we round up.
Are you going to share this class?
Yeah, I'm recording it, so I will look at it after, and then I'll make it available on the chat.
And then can you send? Is it possible for you to send us the link at Microsoft for us?
Yeah. Sure. I can send that as well. Okay, I can send it to you there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
When is our next class most likely?
I'll fix the next class. I want to look at a time that's convenient for most of you and also convenient for me. Maybe we can have that discussion now. Is night convenient for you guys? Can you guys do things 9:30 to 10 sometime?
At night?
Yes.
Yes, it's convenient. Well,
No, but it's just you saying that. Let the others, everyone, Brian.
On Saturdays or what day of the week?
Not just Saturdays.
No,
Yeah.
9:30. Is it 9 to 9:30 or 9:30 to 10 or what?
9:30 to 10 in the night.
Is it just 30 minutes? Are we just having 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's just around 30 minutes, yes.
Okay.
Is it not going to be too short, Mr. Ade? I think 30 minutes is going to be too short. We won't be able to do nothing in 30 minutes.
We will be. It will be faster. It will be. We got to have maybe possibly around 4 30-minute sessions in the week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That will make 2 hours in a week, and by the time we don't need more than 3 of those sessions to cover all the things we need for this class.
I have a question, Mr. Ade.
Yes, please.
Will it be possible for you to kind of give us a schedule, like we know
What you are going to learn? Yeah.
Everything that we're going to do in every class, how
Yeah.
long it's going to take us to go through the whole program until the end,
Yeah.
so that we have an idea how long it's going to take.
I'm trying to do a manual which I will share with you guys. So I think yeah. So I'm doing a manual. I'll possibly share that with you guys. So that then we'll just go through, because the things I'm doing, I'm reading it from the manual.
That manual would be great.
So the things I'm reading, all those things I'm going through, I'm reading it from the manual. So once the manual is ready, it's going to be available for you. I possibly put it on online for you to see.
And another question I have: what would be the best thing when we start the practical part of it? Would it be to have 2 screens, one on which we watch a video, and then the other one where we will be doing the same? I mean, where we'll be writing the program as you're doing.
I will expect you. Oh yeah. You can do you don't have to watch the video. You can just put the voice on and then just do your work. And then if you need to share your screen for us to see or for everyone to see, you can share it to us. And then you just share your screen. And then when you finish sharing, you put the screen down.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Thank you very much for attending.
Yeah, sorry, but we've
Yes,
still
yes.
not this. I agreed on the whether 9:30 is okay for some people. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. That's okay. Let's see, please. Everyone online, please write your name and telephone number in the chat box for me. It's just so I know, or and email maybe, because I might share links with you.
Perfect.
I share links with you, and after a while we start looking. By the time we do this for about 2-3 weeks, we start looking at actually taking some professional lines for those who really want to pick this as their profession. Or it's not that complex as people think. It only needs dedication and concentration. That's all. Please.
Okay.
So introduction to C#.
Yeah.
That's just one language, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. That's just one language.
So what we can
we are going to have other classes like Python, but once you learn one language very well, learning other languages become easier. That's the beauty of it. Once you learn one language and you know it very well, other languages become easier.
Okay.
Please, each please tell me your name and your email in the chat button. There's a chat button just below, just at the bottom of your. Please do it quickly before the class ends. And yeah, that is it. I'm going to stop the recording.